Hey everyone, this is Amy with Simply Elizabeth Crafts, and I have one last card to show you using the Doily hybrid bundle. So it includes this die set as well as the 3D embossing folder. And I have fallen in love. I will say that we're going to use this delicate die tonight, which I did use in my Monday YouTube live. Probably not my favorite die, but for some reason I keep going back to it because it is absolutely stunning. So we're going to make this little card. This is one of those book layout cards, which I think is a lot of fun and really cute. And we're going to go ahead and dive in and get started. And what we are going to start with is cutting out our doily itself. So we're going to use our die here, and I did want to let you know I have put adhesive sheets on the back so that when I cut it out, I can just lay it right on and stick it to my cardstock. All right, so let's come over here. I'm going to pull in my cutting machine, and I'm going to show you a trick with it. Make sure I'm in here. So we're going to take off our cutting plate. This is the one I use the most for cutting. I have a top and a bottom plate that I use because I rotate them out according to, like, once this gets really, really bad and no longer able to use, then I will just throw this plate away. This will become my bottom plate, and I'll grab a brand new plate to go on the top. But what we're going to do is we're going to swap those plates around. So this is my top plate for now. I am then going to put down my die, and I'm going to face it up. So the cutting part is actually facing up toward me. Then we're going to lay down our cardstock face down, just like you would do when you're cutting it in the opposite direction. You want to make sure that cardstock is touching that part that cuts through. Then we're going to put our, what I call the ugly plate. We're going to put it down, and then we're going to run that through. And what this does is it puts a little bit more pressure into that die and allows it to cut. I think it does a little bit better of a cutting job when it goes through upside down like that for these detailed dies. And you'll notice it cut that. And then we can throw that piece away. We will take our die off, and that's all we need to cut for this video. So we're just going to move that right on out the way. And then we've got our, and see, it just came straight out. Now you will have these little pieces. You can take your pick tool. There's an attachment that can go on. Another thing you can do is drop it, and a lot of your pieces will come out, but I'm going to do that off screen so that I don't create a huge mess on my desk. Now, any of these extra little pieces that are in here, I'm not really worried about the center because we're going to put something over that center, but these outside pieces, when you take off the adhesive backing, it will pull those pieces out, majority of them. So it'll just pull it right on like that. So we're going to set that aside for right now. And we are going to grab our cardstock here. We're going to grab a cutter, and we're going to actually score this together. I have to grab it from behind because I don't have so much room right here together. Okay, so this is our cutting blade. So I want to make sure that this is our scoring blade. I want to make sure that this cutting blade stays out of the way, okay? So the first score line we are going to do is we're going to do 5.5. So this is actually cut 11 by 4 1/4, and then we're going to score it at 5.5. And I like to line up on the bottom for the majority of the time. When I do, and let me move it down some. When I do like from 5 and 5 1/4, I will come up here on top, but for everything else I do it on the bottom. And I think a lot of that is because I'm left-handed. Okay, so our next score line is gonna be about 1.5 inches. Is it 1.5? Let me just make sure real quick. It is actually 1.25. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold on that score line so that I can see it. Then I'm gonna line it up right here with my 1.25. And you can also see that line here. And then I'm going to put my arm back down, make sure I have my scoring blade, and then I'm gonna give it a good score again. You can also do this on the Simply Scored. You can do it on that as well. So either one is fine. Now real quick, I do need to cut one more piece of paper while I am here. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut this at 4x4. And I just kind of wanted you to see what our pieces were at. Now there is a blog post that goes right along with this, so make sure that you go on and check that out as well. And this paper, this DSP that we're using, is called Ink Botanicals, and it goes along with the inked and tiled bundle, which this bundle is a punch bundle, so it has a punch that goes along with it, which we will not be using that tonight, but okay. So now what I'm gonna do is move this, move my paper. We're gonna grab my bone folder, and we've already folded that, but we're gonna give it a good burnish. And then we're gonna fold on the other score line and give it a good burnish as well. All right, now we're gonna take some of our Lost Lagoon ribbon. We are gonna take some adhesive and put it right here in the center. And you can even do it this way if you prefer. I'm going to take my Lost Lagoon ribbon, put it there in the center, wrap it around, and then we're gonna fold it up like that. We're gonna trim off there, okay? Now we're gonna hold this out because we're gonna do something else with the ribbon in just a minute. We are gonna take some tear and tape and I found this easier because tear and tape is really strong. We are gonna line this up on the edge and then tear it off. And then we're gonna come over to this edge, line it up, tear it off, then go right down the center, up over top that ribbon, okay? Then we'll take off the backs. Make sure nothing is hanging over adhesive wise, and then we are going to fold that down just like that, okay? We're gonna take our ribbon again and we're gonna tie a bow. I love this ribbon. I think it is very pretty. It's very antique-y looking. Okay, so I've got my bow. Then we're gonna trim and we're gonna trim. Okay, and then we are done with the ribbon. We're gonna grab a glue dot. And we're actually gonna grab two because I just wanna make sure that it stays onto our ribbon up here, and it's gonna kind of go closer to the top. And we're gonna make sure it's kind of at an angle, just like that. And then last, I'm going to take my take your pick tool, and this is last for the ribbon. We're gonna grab a glue dot off and we're gonna stick it right up underneath the flat part that we attached, just like that. And that just keeps this bottom part down and keeps it from picking up and sliding and doing all that, because you don't want it to come out of your book bind. Okay, Now we're going to take and adhere this to our card front. And you can always switch up the colors too if you want. You could put this yellow if you wanted. And this is a 4x4 piece, like that, okay? Now we are going to take our doily. I'm gonna pull in my trash can and I'm just gonna pull all this off. Now I'm just gonna look real quick to make sure it pulled all those pieces out, and it did. And again, I'm not worried about that center part. We're just gonna leave it just like it is, except for that piece there, because that's extra. Okay, and then we're just going to adhere it right down. And what I do with those adhesive sheets is I flip my card over and I just give it a good press and a good rub. Then we'll flip it back over. And next we're going to, I took 2 pieces of this paper. So the opposite part of this was that flower. We're gonna use the Happy Labels punch, and we are going to punch the end. This is a 3/4 piece, and the length's not really gonna matter because you just want it to be hidden up underneath the circle that we'll have. So we'll trim some of that off. And then we've got this piece here, and this is just to add some color. Let's line it up properly. There we go. And slide it in. Okay, we'll cut that off. Get rid of our trash. Okay, and then we are going to put adhesive on the back of our Calypso coral piece. And we're going to attach it right down here, like that. Then we're gonna take our circle piece. We're gonna just put it right there. We're gonna lay this to see kind of where we want it. Hold it there in place. And then we're gonna take the scissors and just chop. And it does not need to be straight up, it just needs to be cut. And then we're going to flip it over, put more adhesive on the back, and then we're going to stick it right here. And you want to just make sure that this little solid area here that creates that circle, that middle part, you want to make sure that you're above that so that it gets covered up. All right, so then we're going to take this, we are going to stamp happy birthday in the middle. We all need happy birthday cards, don't we? I always need a ton of them. I send happy birthday to our church members, so it gets used quite a bit. And actually I stamped that in the wrong color. It should have been in Pebbled Path, but we're gonna leave it like that and we're gonna swap up. We are going to grab our cleaner. We'll clean our flower because it was in Just Jade. Not Just Jade. Ooh, that was a really old color. In Lost Lagoon. We are going to grab our grid paper. When you make a mistake, you just kind of go with the flow to change it up. And here we're going to stamp off. And then we're going to stamp right over our happy birthday. I'm not sure I like that. Nope. Let's actually restamp. We're still going to do it in the opposite way we originally did, but I'm going to try something different. Let's take this Pebbled Path. Let's ink up this flower again, but let's stamp it off twice and then stamp it. Yeah, I like that much better. Okay, a little lighter so you can see that happy birthday. All right, so then we're gonna flip that over. we are going to take some dimensionals. We're going to pop this up. And then we're going to stick it right here in the center, like that. Okay. Now, next we are going to take this, this is a basic white piece and it's a 4x4. We're going to take that flower again and we're going to grab that basic gray since that's what we stamped it in. Stamp it off. Then we're going to stamp it and stamp it. Okay. We are then going to flip this over and we are going to adhere it to our inside card base. I actually kind of like that flower in the pebbled path. That actually looks really good. Now I think I have an idea for another card. Okay, so we've got that piece on the front. Now we are going to take some of our vellum, and this is our designer series vellum, so it's got polka dots. There's other ones, other designs in that set as well. We are going to take our bow punch and we are going to punch out twice from it. Just like that. All right. Then we're going to grab some of those glue dots again. And we're going to put glue dots on. We're actually going to cut this one down. I want this one just a touch smaller for up here. We're going to stick this up underneath, right about there. We're going to take this one, add a glue dot right there to the end, the stem part, pull it off, and let's stick this one right here. Okay, now let's do this on the bottom, and we're going to keep the whole one this time. We're going to push that up there like that, and then do our little bow. Stick this one right about here. Oops, we just want to make sure we get that glue dot up underneath. All right, and then last but not least, we are going to take the classic matte dots. You can see I use these quite a bit. We are going to take the basic gray ones and we're going to stick these on. Let's do here, and we'll do right here, and then we want to do one more right there. And actually, let's move this one. Let's move this one to here. Okay, so that is our card. And I think I actually like it with the gray flower, or the pebbled path flower, the best. But that is our last card. Don't forget that when you use this host code and you order from me, there will be a link in the description of this video. You can order right from my online store. And when you do that and spend $35 before tax and shipping, you can get the make and take packet, or the class packet, what I call the class packet, for these 3 cards right here. You'll get one of each in your class packet. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. My email is in the description of this video as well. I hope you enjoyed the projects this week, and I will actually not be live on Monday. I will be live on Wednesday. That will be July the 5th, and we will be doing the new paper pumpkin. We'll be doing alternatives with the June paper pumpkin that came out. All right, everyone, have a great 4th of July, and I'll see you later. Bye.